Well, for our next pirate profile, we turn our camera onto a man who comes from Sweden and whose name is almost synonymous here at Poole Speedway. He reckons that the Poole name runs through his veins, and that, of course, is none other than Magnus Zetterstrom. Magnus, we always talk at this time about how people got started in Speedway, and I've got to say I'm unsure exactly how you started, and perhaps if there's anything that you may have done had you not chosen to do Speedway.
Oh, I don't know. It started on Dad bought me he built a small bike, and when I was 6 years, and I had tried all sorts of sports before that. I played football and ice hockey, but we were always up on the stadium watching the big boys, and I probably was there and saying, Dad, please come on, get me a bike now, So when I had my 6-year birthday, he built me from an old moped. He built me a bike, and it was pretty funny because my birthday is in December, and where we were living, we had a roundabout outside, and was plenty of snow. And Dad came home and he said, come down to the van and have a look. And we went down there, and he had that nice blue bike, and he took it out and let me ride on it around that roundabout. So that was a great feeling.
You must have had some prophecy about who you might ride for, because you painted it blue, obviously. So. But I mean, in Sweden, it seems to me that they're very encouraging for the young riders, and virtually everyone I've spoken to, they say they start at that early age. And how important is it to get onto the rung so early in life?
I mean, you see both ways that some riders start really early, and you have had some riders like David Ruud that never had rode junior speedway, and some riders coming from motocross, they've done a lot of motocross before they chose speedway. So I don't know if that's so important, but maybe you get a bit of a feeling how the speedway atmosphere is, and know how important things are to set up a bike, and maybe you get the ground, or what do you say, the basic on how to ride a bike. So but you see lots of good riders that start later on, they're not be like young, like 6 years. So I can't really say if it's so important or not.
At that point, obviously, you're then looking to make a career for Speedway in Sweden. And at some point, you must have decided, well, England is the place to go. What is it that really is the attractive part about England? Because these days, certainly when I was younger, the English Speedway scene was the Speedway scene. But now, of course, it seems to have evened up very much so, with Poland and Sweden really having the top riders. And sometimes now people say that England perhaps isn't the top league.
Yeah, I think you're right there. It's at the moment it feels like Speedway is on the way down in England, but I wish I didn't say that, because I mean, I wish England good luck that we bring Speedway back in again to be a professional, really good sport. But it's like you said, it's Poland and Sweden is feeling like they are the place at the moment. But
certainly earlier days, though, you would have thought, got to get to England.
Absolutely, that was the dream all the junior had, and when you become up start riding 500cc, that was the dream to go to England, because there were all the top riders. You were a professional rider if you got to England. But like you said, later on all the good riders came over from England to Sweden as well. So Sweden have exactly the same riders, good riders, as we have here in England now. So it's not much of a different that way. But before it was tricky track in England, speed were more tough over in England. So in Sweden you had more of a 2-3 good riders in each team, and then the rest of the 7-man team they worked through the day, and then they had speedway like a hobby at the evenings. But England were the place, they were professional speedway riders. So yeah, that was a dream that everyone had, to go over to England.
Well, now, of course, we're talking about a world speedway scene, and you're possibly one of the best exponents of that, because you ride in Poland, you ride in Sweden, you ride in England, and the schedules must be punishing, and that must take it out of you physically.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you're traveling so much, and sometimes you only get a few hours sleep, and you do like 6, 7, 8 hours traveling on top of that, and of course it's effect, but I think speed riders are pretty good to look after themselves, you know, that you get that sleep, 3 hours sleep, and you can have some sleep in the van, but if you have a really tight week with a lot of meeting, it must affect, but I can't really say how much it affects, because you can do a really good week on that week as well, but then you have a bad one, so I don't know.
Well, we're getting into territory now, of course, where we say, well, you know, what is it? What's the formula? Because, of course, you go to Poland, you have a great meeting, you go to Sweden, you have a great meeting, and you come to England, and if I may say so, Magnus, it's been hard for you this year. You know, obviously you're looking for the formula, everyone looks for the formula every time, and it must be so difficult when you get into that rut to be able to lift yourself out.
Yeah.
And for me, watching you this year, it seems like somebody's put a lid on you, and we haven't seen Magnus dancing at the starting gate, and I know, you know, it's not perhaps appropriate right now, but I know how much you want to get that back, but
Absolutely.
How do you do it?
That's the, if I could put the finger on that, I mean, I should change it straight away, but it's just so hard when you get down that road, because like you said, I'm doing well in Poland and Sweden, and as soon as I come over to this country, it just doesn't click, and I don't know why. It just and when you don't know why either, you start changing things, you're changing engines, you go around in the pit and talking to every other rider, asking what the setup are. When you're doing well, bang, you just set the bike up and off you go, and things just working. And so when you hit that bad spell, you know, it's so tough to get out from it. And like I say, it's been a really long season, but I can only think of a few things. That it's one of the first years that I've been signed on in 3 countries for the whole season. And I don't know if I was ready for it or not, but again, I can't say it because I had all the equipment. I have bikes in each country, I have mechanics in each country, I have vans, I got everything. So it's not that I bring in bikes backwards and forwards or anything. I just need to bring myself into the country. So I just wish I could put the finger on, but finger crossed, I can only keep going, and hopefully I get out from it and start scoring again.
I know the affection that everybody feels for you here at Poole is immense, and you're really part of the Poole club setup, and I know that applies to you too. You love the Poole setup, and your heart is very much in Poole, and we've talked about that many times. Is it encouraging to the fans, encouraging you at the moment? Are you finding that they're behind you? Are they on your back? And what about the management? Are they able to support you, even though it's been tough for them perhaps too?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they are still so good around here in Poole, you know. Of course you got still a few people that booing you and so, but I mean, that's something I need to handle, because I'll do the same if I go watching Beckham missing that, you know, goal. So
but maybe you and he could have changed places that week.
That's right, yeah. So you know, that's the way it is, and that's nothing really that affect me. Of course, it's hard to see people in their eyes, you know, when you're struggling. It's easy when you do well. You want to get out there and waving to people and do the dance, and of course when you're struggling, you just want to dig that hole and, you know, run away. But I think I try to not do that, because I know that they're good around here, that they're still behind me, and the promoters and the Middleditch as a team manager been superb to me. So because I think, I can't say what they think, but I think they know what I can do, so that's why they stick behind me as well. I just need to do it. That's so. It sounds so easy, but it's so bloody hard, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we want to see that lid come off as soon as possible, and no one will be more pleased than you, I know. Next year, of course, now, perhaps many people don't know this yet, but it's going to be a big year for Magnus Zetterstrom, because we're looking forward to a testimonial.
That's right, and that's another thing, you know, it's here back in my head, that I got my testimonial next year. I really want to do well now, and to get the people in here for next year and get a good testimonial. But I'm really looking forward for that, because it's a good payback of the 10 years in the country and in the club. So yeah, really looking forward to that, and hopefully I can have a good day.
Well, knowing you as I do, I know that it's going to be a nice event, and I know that there's probably lots of things up your sleeve, and I'm quite sure this place will be filled. It was for Craig Boyce, and they showed their loyalty to Craig.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely certain the Poole fans will want to do the same for you.
Yeah, I hope so. And like I said, they have always stick behind me, so finger crossed they keep doing that and join in for a good day and fun day on that testimonial, because it's going to be really fun.
Okay, well, remember, you heard it here first. Come and join Magnus, but more about that next year, and I'm sure there'll be lots of build-up for that to look forward to. Thanks for talking to us, Magnus.
Thanks a lot.
Well, I think all of us want to see Magnus recapture those disco dancing days, and we can't wait to see it happen. But for now, that does wrap up this edition of Pirate Videos, and I've got to say, it's been quite a long edition, a month in the making, Graham.
Yes, it has. Well, of course, we had the unfortunate interference from the rain, but nevertheless, we've had some interesting races. Unfortunately, the Pirates had to lose their home record, but I guess that was going to always happen. They've been living very dangerously, and the Eagles came here with a superb team on the day, a team they probably wouldn't be able to put out any other time. It's just the way the averages and the system worked. But I think we've put that behind us now, and the Pirates are on the road again.
For me, I've got to say the stars of the last 2 weeks really have been Matti Furjan and Christoph Kasperzak. I mean, what price now would you put on their heads after coming into the team to replace two riders that really just didn't cut the mustard?
Well, that's right, and it's always difficult to make changes halfway through the season, but I think that the local supporters now will realise how astute the Matt and Mike are in terms of who they want in their team and how they see things going, and quite clearly it's important not just to get to the playoffs, but I think to get that top position, because then you're in the driving seat. And with the exception of Wolves, I think that the rest of the teams are now sort of just playing catch up and looking for a top 5 place. But it's really now between Poole and Wolverhampton to get that top spot, and the way Poole are going, and certainly the way they've ridden here against Swindon tonight, I think they'll get it.
I think one of the best tools they've got is their team spirit, and I'm down here in the pits with them and seeing them tonight. They've just bounced back, and everyone's gelled together so well, and that's obvious not just down here in the pits, but it's obvious out there on the track too.
Absolutely, I think that comes across in the riding. Interesting, just from our elevated position on the camera podium, that we can see into the pits, and Ryan Sullivan really has made a difference. He's behind all the riders the whole time. He's trying to lift them. Certainly with Magnus tonight, he was helping him with his machine, and he really has been a good acquisition, not only in the points he's scoring, but what he's doing for the team behind the scenes, and that has come across. As you say, it is good team effort at the moment.
Well, certainly the Pirates have got plenty to look forward to. It is, as Graham rightly says, a real two-horse race now at the top of the league between Poole and the Wolves. Wolves are catching up, but Poole still have that advantage of having, I think, or rather Wolves have 3 games in hand, but Poole have the advantage that they've won the away fixtures, and really the Wolves have got to do the same. So we've got plenty to look forward to as we close this edition off, and look forward to our next edition upcoming. That'll be coming up very soon, and we've got the reports, of course, for the Pirates on the road at Swindon, which will be happening shortly, and that'll all be contained on our next edition when we come back. So do stay with us. But from this position here in the pits, for now anyway, from Graham, from myself, Nigel Leahy, and from Rob behind the camera, a very good evening to you, and join us again soon on Pirate Videos.